really believe that all music is therapeutic. I mean, if you think about it, when you're feeling low or anxious, if you turn on your favorite music, it can calm you down or lift your spirits. The connections that we also have between individuals is therapeutic, in addition to the music.
Sarah Martin McConnell found a calling to launch nonprofit Music for Seniors after she witnessed the transformational effect it had on lives, including that of her mother, when she performed for her and other participants of FiftyForward's Adult Day Services program. Today, her focus is to light up lives of older adults because she's witnessed the true gift music brings as holistic therapy. Sarah is a creative dynamo whose journey with and caring about her mother led her in 2007 to start Music for Seniors, a nonprofit that features a unique collaboration by Nashville musicians to entertain and perform at locations that include senior communities where the need for music, interaction, and engagement is so important.
I'm Sally Hussey, the CEO of FiftyForward, and we elected to launch this podcast because we know older adults have such inspiring stories and wisdom worth sharing. We have now all learned that social connections are critical to our well-being. This podcast is made possible by FiftyForward, the leading resource for adults 50 plus in Middle Tennessee who seek to live longer, more fulfilling lives.
You're listening to Squeeze the Day, where we talk to extraordinary people over the age of 50 who are living their best life now. Their stories of a well-lived life are both inspiring and encouraging to all of us as we seek to navigate a meaningful and purpose-driven second chapter in our life. I'm Susan Sizemore, Communications Director for FiftyForward. So let's get started. Tell us a bit about Music for Seniors, Sarah. How did it get started?
My mother, Marge, I like to say, was blown to Nashville by Hurricane Katrina in 2005, and she had recently been diagnosed with mid-stage Alzheimer's. My family was trying to figure out what we were going to do and how we were going to handle that because she lived alone on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and then the hurricane made the decision for us. She came to live with my husband and me and stayed with us for the last 6 years of her life. She was 84 when she arrived, and she began attending FiftyForward's Adult Day Services. And as a musician and performer, I said to the director, hey, I'd love to come and bring my guitar and do some sing-alongs with Mom and her group. And she loved her group at Day Services. She said, great, and I did. And we had such a wonderful time that I started coming regularly every month. I'm telling you, one day I walked out of that session and it was a gorgeous fall day. The sun was shining and I just literally had a download from the universe. One of those aha moments that this should be a unified effort to connect talented musicians in our community with isolated older adults. And it should be a citywide program. And that was the beginning of Music for Seniors. I pitched the idea to Janet Jernigan, who was then the executive director of FiftyForward. She loved the idea. The rest, as they say, is history.
That's so interesting and amazing. And I didn't realize, every storm that has come through, and we've had so many since Hurricane Katrina, oftentimes out of bad situations, really good things happen. And I really, when I first learned a little bit more about Music for Seniors, I thought, what a heartwarming story. And to think where you've taken it today, it's just amazing. I want to talk a little bit about your education. So I understand that you are a graduate from the University of Texas in Austin, where you earned your Bachelor of Arts degree and you graduated cum laude. What led you to arts and music?
My mother says that I just came out of the womb singing and dancing and performing. Her water broke at a symphony, and I was like, get me out. What is that? And I have always loved music. I've always loved to perform. But in college, I actually did a double major. I did theater and psychology. And then I went back and got my master's in social work after being a professional musician for many, many, many years, a singer and songwriter and performer. So it's just in my blood. Show business is in my blood.
I note that in you, and that's a gift, truly, because the whole world is everyone's stage, but some people take better advantage of the stage than others. And now knowing that you made your grand entrance at the symphony, that's just a fabulous story. So you earned your master's degree in social work and have been a professional musician and singer-songwriter in a number of really large cities that are noted for their entertainment, including Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, and Nashville. Does this effort, Your Music for Seniors, combine the best of all those worlds?
You know, I often have said that Music for Seniors really is a hybrid of social work and the arts, specifically in this case, music. And my love of both of those fields and my intention to contribute something that I felt was important to the world, I think, has been a big driving factor. My dad was an Episcopal priest, so we grew up with lots of music in the house, and also an overview that community service and giving back was important. And also, it's everything I love to do. This has really been an amazing journey for me.
Well, you know, in a lot of ways, you hear people speak about music as therapy, and I would love for you to talk a bit about music and therapy and how they fit together.
Sure. And I'm glad you asked that question because people ask me sometimes, now, are you all music therapists? And no, Music for Seniors is not traditional music therapy, but everything that we do in the organization is therapeutic. And music therapy as a discipline is used for all kinds of addressing issues that are physical, cognitive, emotional. For instance, Gabby Gifford, when she got shot and was learning to speak again, she worked with a music therapist who first taught her to sing. And after singing, she was able to translate that muscle memory and everything she learned from that exercise to actually being able to speak again. So that is traditional music therapy, but I really believe that all music is therapeutic. I mean, if you think about it, when you're feeling low or anxious, if you turn on your favorite music, it can calm you down or lift your spirits. The connections that we also have between individuals is therapeutic, in addition to the music.
Do you have a quick story or testimonial or something that you can tell us about the impact that you've seen music have with seniors, especially since you play so much at senior facilities in the Nashville community?
You know, one story that we hear over and over again is, and it goes something like this: Betty, who has Alzheimer's, say, and is compromised, she doesn't speak like she used to. She's compromised with trying to form sentences and her words escape her. But during your program, she knew all of the words to every song. And I saw it firsthand with my mom, and we hear it over and over again from the musician partners who help us achieve our mission. Just the miraculous transformation in individuals when the music lights them up. That's another descriptor, you know, that you can just see the participants light up with the music. And that's why when I was trying to come up with a slogan about Music for Seniors that described in a nutshell what we did, sharing live music, lighting up lives. Because not only does it light up lives of the senior participants, but the musicians who are participating as well.
That's beautiful. And I do think your slogan is so appropriate for what you do. And many, many times I've seen people just kind of, music sparks something in them. And it's such a beautiful thing to watch. And I know conversations that I've had with people, there have been discussions related to individuals with Alzheimer's or dementia and how it can really help, especially songs from the past, really help bring people back to the present in a certain way.
And tap memory. And open brain cells, you know, that they haven't activated in a long time. Music is just magical.
So I have to ask, I'm just thinking about Sarah and interviewing you now. So Do you sing in the shower?
Oh, I sing all the time. I break into song in a moment's notice. I once had a friend say, Sarah, hanging out with you is like being in the middle of a musical. I'm like, I love that.
For some reason this morning, I had a specific station on, and it was probably music from, I think, The Bridge. But I found myself really singing really loud to a lot of the songs on the way in or trying to harmonize with them. And I don't know why it was today, but it just changed my mood and brought the day to really a good beginning. So love what you do.
I listen to music all the time. Even when I'm working, I have on music, usually nothing with words because that distracts me. But music is really a backdrop to almost everything I do.
So I'm curious to know how COVID might have impacted your role and what you do.
Oh my gosh, COVID. Thank goodness it's almost behind us. We had to quickly figure out how we were going to keep achieving our mission, which is really live connections. So we decided that we would pivot everything we did to virtual. We started rolling out weekly on-demand virtual programs that our musician partners would record at home or from wherever they were and submit to us, still on the same, as if they were with a group. So they're speaking directly to their participants who are out there watching, encouraging them to get involved, to sing along, to clap along, trying to make it as much like as if we were there live. And then we provided those through our YouTube channel, but not streaming. We put them up there so that no matter where you were or when you wanted to watch them, they were available. And then we also pivoted our learning labs, which are actual lessons in harmonica, ukulele, and we did a virtual guitar learning lab, and we did a virtual ukulele learning lab. So the teaching artist did 4 sessions, and we rolled them out over 4 weeks, each about an hour long, and the participants could tap in and have music classes during COVID.
That's wonderful. Did you have a pretty large group of participants? Because the concept of learning labs, first of all, I think is brilliant. And then when I think about some of the groups that you might be impacting, whether they're an individual or maybe some adult, senior living facility, for example, if people had access to instruments, did they do them in a group setting?
We had some activity directors share photographs of their participants in a room, socially distanced, with our musician partner on the screen doing the music activity with them and them singing along, clapping along. The Learning Lab participants would absolutely, get their ukulele or their guitar and play along. And in terms of numbers, I wish I could tell you exactly how many, but thousands of YouTube views over the year. I mean, I wish I had that number, but it's amazing how many views we had.
Well, congratulations on that, because that shows that you're not only hitting a note, no pun intended, for something that would resonate, but also there's an interest and a need out there. I can't tell you how many people I know who are starting to pick up guitars or ukulele, but I see a lot of people with uke. It must be an easier thing to play.
It is.
Maybe it's because of the strings. You don't need as much pressure?
Well, there are only 4 strings. The ukulele is the top 4 strings of the guitar, just without the 2 bass notes.
Okay.
And so the fingering is a lot easier. It's a light instrument, so if you're older, it's really easy to hold and carry. It just is a wonderful instrument to get started on for a stringed instrument.
How many instruments do you play, and what are they?
Oh my gosh. Well, I play a little ukulele, not much, because I didn't start on ukulele. I started on piano and then guitar, and I play the mountain dulcimer, the kazoo. I'm great on the kazoo.
That's important.
I think that might be it.
Did your parents encourage you to take lessons?
Absolutely. Well, there was no stopping me. I really, really was always drawn to the piano and the guitar and singing. I just wanted to be able to accompany myself so I could sing.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Well, now you can do that and you do it well. I'm curious about your roster of Nashville musicians and any sort of people that you are pulling into the Music for Seniors group. And if you feel like name dropping a bit and how those individuals participate, that'd be fun too. And if not, I'm just kind of curious.
We have had such fabulous response from Nashville musicians, some of them luminaries, but our just working musicians who help us with our outreach programming every day, every month, are heroes. Now, for our concert series, we also do a free daytime concert series, which is a public concert that we do every month, which we're going to be able to start again in August, hopefully.
Is that at the library?
No, we partner with venues all across town. Cheekwood and the Frist and Luby Theater and Plaza Mariachi. I work with community partners who host us, and they're our host venues. But we have had Buddy Spiker, who is very fabulous fiddle player and, a Nashville legend. Charlie McCoy, a bona fide Nashville cat who's a harmonica virtuoso. Pam Tillis has performed a concert for us. We were out at Cheekwood when she performed. Ketch Secor from Old Crow Medicine Show has brought a children's group to the Frist for us for a holiday concert, and then he also performed solo for us in our only concert in 2020, March, before everything shut down. John Oates has been our guest artist for our year-end concert fundraiser, Lighting Up Lives. It's just been very exciting.
Well, and I know that you hear a lot of people talk about how excited they are now to be able to get back out and perform, but a lot of people had a lot of time on their hands and also wanted to use their skills and either give back, or people were doing living room concerts and things. But I think it's really interesting because Nashville is a hotbed for all kinds of music. And I think it's fabulous that not only individuals are finding ways to collaborate with you, but they also are sharing their gifts. And that's huge, very important.
Absolutely.
So tell me about some accolades that Music for Seniors has earned.
Oh my gosh, 2019 just took us to the top. But let me say, it started in 2012 when we were still a program affiliate, an arts program affiliate of FiftyForward. We got a Center for Nonprofit Management Salute to Excellence Award for business acumen in the arts, which was our first feather in our cap. And then everything sort of came together in 2019. It was kind of crazy. We were found by national television. PBS Nightly NewsHour did a spot on us that was aired. A most amazing thing that happened was I won a WeWork Creator Award. And that was so, well, I don't know. It was just so unexpected because it's something that there was an application for, and I had spent lots of time writing and applying to be in the finalists, which was going to be right here in Nashville. I didn't get chosen.
Oh.
They turned me down. So it was at Marathon, at their Marathon Motorworks, and it was on their big, beautiful stage there that they had erected. And I said to my husband, Mick, we're going to go. And we're going to go early, and I'm going to sit right in the middle, close to the front, and I'm going to figure out how I can get up on that stage next year. And
good for you.
When it started, I then again said to him, I need to be up on that stage. I should be up there. Well, I'm not kidding you. This is how crazy it was. Right after that, Adam Newman, who is the founder of WeWork, was saying, well, now we're going to do something we've never done before. We are going to invite people from the audience to come up and pitch. And I didn't even wait for him to finish. I leaped out of my chair, and there I was right in the front, and he pointed to me, and I just knew that it was going to be my moment. And Ashton Kutcher was there.
Oh, my.
And he was doing the interviewing, and Ashton and I had such a good time, but I pitched, I did the elevator pitch. They say if you have a business or a nonprofit and you want people to know about it, be able to concisely and enthusiastically grab people and hook them. Well, I guess I did, because on the spot, Adam Newman awarded me a $50,000 gift to seed the national expansion of Music for Seniors, because I told him, look, this is just a great model, but there are talented musicians and underserved older adults everywhere. And this needs to be in cities everywhere to connect their local musicians with older adults who don't get out anymore for live music. And that was a game changer. It really, really was.
Boy, I can only imagine, and I can definitely see how that played out. But you were definitely at the right place at the right time and also prepared.
It was divinely inspired. Really and truly, I feel like I manifested that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you did, and congratulations. That is wonderful. And now that we're through 2020, hopefully you can get into some of your expansion efforts. That's just wonderful.
Then everything came to a screeching halt because of COVID, right? Oh, good grief.
Well, you're going to pick up the ball and run it across the finish line a few times over, I believe.
Thank you. I hope so. Hope springs eternal.
Amen. So I also was excited to see that you participated in a TED Talk event here in Nashville, which was called the TEDx Nashville Women. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. TEDx Nashville approached me because one of the board members had seen me win my WeWork Creator Award. And he said, I think this would make a fantastic TED Talk. And I said, me too. I've always wanted to do a TED Talk about music for seniors ever since I heard about TED Talks and knew about it. So they worked with me and we worked on getting my story. I mean, it's very specific guidelines within a specific time frame. And it was a lot of work, but you know what? It was just wonderful. I enlisted the help of one of my pals who is a fantastic director. She's no longer here in Nashville, but at the time she was the director of the Nashville Repertory Theater, Renee Copeland, and she helped me pull it together. Then I went out on that stage and just did it. There's no script. You have to do it all from memory. There's no prompting. And it was rather nerve-wracking, but it was really fun. And I'll just say this, if anybody's interested, you can go to our website, musicforseniors.org, and watch my TED Talk, and you can see my WeWork win, and you can see the PBS story too. They're all there.
That's fabulous. I was just going to ask if people wanted to see it, where they'd find it. So that's wonderful. Tell us about your husband and his connection to the Music for Seniors effort, and of course to you.
Well, I could not have cared for my mom. We kept her at our home through her death. She died in her own bed with my husband and me and all of her beloved animals piled up there with her. And my husband, Mickey McConnell, was absolutely a fabulous caregiver. I couldn't have done it without him. He had said, like a year before, your mother should come live with us, really. She should come live with us. We had only been married 2 years. That's the kind of man he is. But he's naturally hilarious. He had a class that he taught, and it was called Funny Man's ABC class. He taught responsible alcohol beverage service to the food and beverage industry, and he did it as a comedy routine. So in addition to helping me with my mom and being my biggest cheerleader when I started Music for Seniors, I really, I took a huge risk. I left a great paying independent contractor business supporting the law firms in town. And, I just said, I'm going to stop everything else and I'm going to do this. And he took a huge gulp and then said, okay. But then he got involved. We did a comedy routine together that we took out to some of the senior groups. We've always loved Lucy and Ricky or George Burns and Gracie Allen. We told jokes and did sight gags and just silly. Then he came also sometimes when I would do a music program. One Valentine's Day, I remember he joined me at, again, FiftyForward Adult Day Services, where my mom was, because she loved to have him come there and be a part of it. And for Valentine's Day, he sang Some Enchanted Evening to all of the participants. And everybody just melted. He had him in the palm of his hand. So he's just a wonderful helpmate and soulmate. I couldn't have done any of this without him.
That's really interesting because I've met him a time or two, but really didn't know any of that about him, and I've not seen that side of him. It's been more like out at public events or something when I've seen him. I really think when you have that kind of connection, gift, and support, boy, it's really nice to be able to use it in some of life's most difficult circumstances.
I'm telling you what, God blessed me when he sent Mickey McConnell my way.
And especially welcoming in a parent as a caregiver after just such a short time together, and really beautiful story. I'm curious to know if you've got a mentor or someone else who has influenced you to become the community leader you are today.
I have to tell you that my parents, and in particular my mother, but my dad too, they just instilled in me this, you can do whatever you set your mind to, Sarah. Don't let fear hold you back. And go for it. I think they recognized early on that I had this great need to shine. And they never squelched that and always celebrated it and lifted me up and encouraged me to be as much my true self as I ever wanted to be. And so I am so blessed in that regard.
Absolutely. I'm also wondering if there's one piece of advice that maybe they or another older adult might have given to you that maybe at the time you thought was just kind of a bunch of bunk or something that would never ring true, but it has ended up being part of your life's playbook.
Oh my gosh. I don't really remember anything too silly. I mean, other than your mom saying always wear clean underwear because you might get in an accident. And if you go to the hospital, then you'll have on, you have to have on clean underwear. I don't know. That probably is not that silly and probably still rings true. But actually, one person, and this wasn't silly, this is just something that has really stuck with me. I love Joseph Campbell, who is a fantastic philosopher and thinker, and he wrote about the hero journey. And one thing that he said that I've always done, and then after I heard him, he says, follow your bliss. Find what it is that just ignites your passion and makes you happy and makes you want to get up in the morning and greet the world, and follow that. And don't let anything stop you. Don't settle for, I can't do that because I have to earn money, or, I never could do that. Just throw those fears away and go for it. And then it's crazy, but doors open and it's like the universe lifts you up on wings. And that has been my experience. And I believe that with all my heart and soul.
So we have one closing question that we ask all of our guests, and I'm curious to know what is it, Sarah, that makes you squeeze the day?
Oh, well, I try to wake up every morning, and before I get out of bed, I meditate, and I send up prayers for whatever I need that day, and I try to smile. Now, some days I get up on the wrong side of the bed like everybody else, but I find that tapping into that intentionality and asking for help from something that's way bigger than me really helps me when I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed, or I just want to accomplish something. And I think that's how I squeeze the day.
Thank you. I see that in you, and you bring such spark and enthusiasm not only to this interview, but to everything that you do. And I feel like your life of leadership and also all these stories that you share will motivate others. Thanks again for joining us on Squeeze the Day.
Thank you, Susan. It has been such a joy to be here. I really do hope it will inspire others to follow their bliss.
Now we challenge everyone listening to go squeeze the day.